Welcome to Healthy Kingston. My name is Janet Wade, and I will be your host for a very interesting program on everything you wanted to know about the Kingston Health Department and the Board of Health. The Kingston Board of Health has been in place for over 50 years. It consists of 5 Kingston residents, myself included, with varied backgrounds that are directly or tangentially related to health. Each of us takes an oath to value our positions and represent our constituents to the best of our ability. We typically meet the second and fourth Tuesday of the month in room 203 at Town Hall. Meetings are open to the public unless otherwise stipulated. The agenda is finalized and posted on the Board of Health website the Thursday before the upcoming meeting. Residents are welcome to come to express their comments, interests, and concerns regarding local health issues. The board members vote for a chairman and a vice chairman each year, and the current chairman is a longtime board member, Joe Casna, as is the current vice chairman, Bill Watson. In an effort to remain transparent, we've decided to have the PAC-TV Healthy Kingston program and the first Kingston Health Series program devoted to the Kingston Health Department and the Board of Health. We will discuss the Board of Health and the Health Department's purpose, work, and how together as a team we individually and as a group address the health concerns of the residents of Kingston. So I'd like to introduce you to 2 key members of the Health Department here in Kingston. First, Arthur Boyle, who is our health agent, and then Joe Casna, who is the chairman of the Board of Health. And at the price of being transparent, we want to tell you about the health department, the services that it has to offer, the people run it, and be welcome to any questions in the future that you may have. So with that said, I'd like to introduce Arthur.
Nice to be here.
Good to have you, as always. You're a wonderful person to work with, and I speak from personal experience.
Well, thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about your background and how it is you are the health agent?
I came to the town of Kingston about 1.5 years ago now. It doesn't seem like that's possible.
No, it doesn't.
But I came from doing 7 years in the town of Holbrook as the health agent, and I brought that experience over with me, and it was a great opportunity. I live in the next town, and it just was a great circumstance that it came up when it did, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Well, it's been wonderful for us as a community and certainly as a board, and I'm sure Joe would agree with me that you've been able to hit the ground running and that you have so much experience in the field. Regardless of what comes up, you seem to have some type of experience with it.
Well, we have everything from Tripoli to joint operations with the Council on Aging.
Right, and sewer issues and all sorts of stuff, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So tell us about a day in the life. What are your responsibilities as the health agent?
Well, you come in the morning and you never know what you're going to face. It could be a backed up septic system. It could be a new one going in place. It could be one that was over the weekend damaged and had to be fixed on an emergency repair. And then you've got your calls that come in from the constituency. It might be a restaurant that they had a problem with, or they want to talk about a lunch place that had pests in it or something like that, and you just never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, sure. This is your forum, so what do you want to tell or relay to the residents of Kingston as to how they can best use the health department and your services?
Well, Kathy Ivers, who is our new administrative assistant, has made a great use of the website. She's a very talented computer tech type and has put a lot of information up on the web, and that's been good because of Tripoli and the West Nile virus, and we had a blue-green algae scare that turned out to be not blue-green algae, but we didn't know that at the time, and we didn't take any chances. So, as I say, every day is a different day, and that's what keeps it exciting. And Joe's been around it for probably 25 years, I'm going to guess, and he's not seen it all yet either. I don't know that I've seen it all, but we get closer every day.
This will be on the screen, but how can people contact you?
The best way is through email. It's Boyle, Boyle, at Kingston, Mass, spelled out, .org, or they can call me at 781-585-0503. And if we don't pick up right away, leave a message, because we could be helping somebody at the counter, or we could be out on inspections. We've gotten quite a bit of traffic lately regarding new septic systems because of all the new construction going on. And Kingston is a hot place to live. That's my real estate comment for the week.
Well, I heard actually that was recently in the Boston Globe, that Kingston is a very hot place to live.
I can't afford to read the Boston Globe anymore, but I believe you that.
Okay. I do want to relate to our audience that we will have this next month, but you had mentioned that Kathy Ivers is a real techie, and she's the new administrative assistant and is a real asset to the health department. And she is devising a whole new website for the health department that will be incorporated into the town website. And part of that will be the Healthy Kingston program, so that you can access those directly. There'll be a link to each one of them. There'll also be an area called the Healthy Kingston Clipboard, which is the information that was related, the important information related to each one of the programs. So if there are people that you need to contact, emails you need, phone numbers that you need, they will be on Healthy Kingston Clipboard. She's already incorporated, and you may want to speak to this, a number of the forms that people need access to.
Yeah, when we were getting calls a year ago, and people would say, "Can I get it on the internet?" And we would say, "Well, some things you can get, some things you can't get." Now you can get virtually everything. You know, you can get an installer's license, you can get an emergency permit to do work on a septic system. You can get just about everything that we offer online now, and that's made it wonderful for people that don't have the time to come in or don't have the opportunity to come in. We had a woman in the other day that had a child in each arm and one on the floor that was running around. And
oh, gee.
she said it would have been easier if it was on the internet, and I said, "You're going to be upset that it is."
It is.
You could have
So
saved the trip.
so you're suggesting people, can they complete it and send it in via email, or would you rather they
The only
print
thing
it
they
out
can't
and
do
then
is-
bring it in?
The only thing they can't do is pay for it in the office yet. We don't have the
Oh, okay.
the ability to do that yet, but that's something we're going to work on in the next year.
Okay. So they basically need to print out the form, complete it, and bring it in if there's money
That's
involved
news
with
to the
it.
boss, by the way, that we
Oh, okay.
want to be
We're
able to
working
take
on
money over
that.
the counter.
There we go.
All right. We're getting on the cutting edge here.
Uh-oh.
All right. You've alluded to Triple E. If you would, people are anxious to find out what the current health issues are that the town is facing, and keeping us updated.
Well,
So-
Martha Jameson, who's the athletic director at Silver Lake, has been terrific in coordinating with the Board of Health on afternoon sports, as an example. We're trying to get things started by 3 or 3:30 to wrap up by 6:30 or 7 o'clock. And rather than enforce an order on them to do so, they've been doing it voluntarily by rescheduling games. And it is costly to them in terms of real dollar costs, because they don't make the Friday night football money that they would make under normal circumstances. So this is costly in finance to the athletic department, but it's nowhere near the price that we would pay if a child would be stricken with a Triple E.
Triple E, sure. Absolutely.
And we, have been part of the aerial spraying, the Plymouth County mosquito control that does the work normally when it's not an emergency, and we're in an emergency, make no mistake about it. The governor has been involved, and normally you would hear a comment from him on Friday night news or something, but he's been out front, and good for him and good for us that he has been, because it's a very real danger. The chances are very small in terms of the reverse of hitting the lottery, but you can still contract Triple E, whether you're in Plymouth or Kingston or Mendon or Millis, or they seem to be more concentrated where there are horse farms and that type of thing. But we have them here in our tiny little town, and you just want to be as cautious as you can. Wear
Vigilant.
long sleeves. Use a repellent with DEET don't go out after dusk if you don't have to. You know, it's using common sense. You've got pets that can pick it up as well. So, you know, you just want to, you know, be as cautious as you can and as protective of your children as you can. And with the calls we get, you know, they're intelligent questions and they're good questions and they're people that are interested in the safety of their children. And that's what really matters. And that's what we're interested in as well.
Sure. And just to refresh everyone's memory, this time last year we had Blake Dinius, who's the epidemiologist for Plymouth County Health Department, come in and speak about triple E and Lyme disease and DEET and using DEET and its implications. And that is on the first program, Healthy Kingston, that you can access through PAC TV, Community Services, or you can also get it on YouTube, Healthy Kingston. It's the first program if you want more information on DEET. You mentioned the housing that's going on, all the new housing and the impact on septic systems.
Well, Kingston has got some advantages that some of the other towns around us don't have, and that's that we've got a pretty extensive sewer system. But in the more countrified, if you will, subdivisions, they're still on septic, so they're still, you know, digging holes the old-fashioned way and, you know, getting, you know, a fine grain of sand, you know, to put in to the ground so that the drainage is better than it would be under normal circumstances. Although Kingston has great dirt, it's a pleasure for most of the contractors that come in from out of town that don't have to dig, you know, through quarries like they do in Cohasset and places like that. Mm-hmm. So we're very fortunate where our septic systems are not as expensive to put in as many other communities, and you know, we've got good soils, and you know, it's made for a great combination of things with the commuter line and you know, the schools being brand new, and you know, there's just so many good things going on in Kingston.
Which is great to hear. Well, thank you for your comments. I would now like to introduce Joe Casna, the chairman of the Board of Health. And how long have you actually been involved with the Board of Health? I know it's been many, many years.
Long time. I came here from Hanover. I was on the Board of Health when I lived there.
Okay.
And that was back in the day when we was formulating the regulations pertaining to public smoking in restaurants, smoking in public places. And lately it feels like I've come full circle, because here I am 20 some odd years later and we're back on the same subject. The only difference now is there's a whole new array of tobacco-based products, nicotine-based products, in terms of vaping and chewables and edibles. But it just kind of feels like come full circle.
So obviously you're a tremendous asset to the board, and particularly being in the leadership position, because you've been involved so long and you've been exposed to a cross-section of public health problems in 20 plus years.
It's been interesting. It's been very, very interesting. I've always enjoyed the people that I've been able to serve with. Public service just comes natural to me because I do enjoy it. But some of the subject matter that's come up along the way, you never would have suspected. I mean, we no sooner got done formulating the regulations pertaining to public smoking than we delved into all the changes and revisions that came down on Title V from the state, from DEP, and that wreaked havoc on a lot of these septic installations and the parameters that they had to follow to put the systems in. And we no sooner got through with that than the mosquitoes started their rampage with this triple E, which has been a real concern. And who would have ever thought that as a Board of Health member, I'd have been involved in sound studies pertaining to wind turbines.
Right,
and
right.
shadow flicker. It's just been a mixed bag, and you just don't know
what's going to come along.
Along the way, I've had the pleasure of serving with some great health agents. Back in Hanover, I had a gentleman named Dick Simmons, then Gene Joyce, and I came here, it was Henny Walters, and now we have Arthur Boyle. It's just been a great group of professional people who have always provided what I consider to be top service to the communities that they've worked in, and we've been very fortunate in that regard.
Can you tell us a
makes
little
it
bit
easy.
about your responsibilities as the
Well,
chairman?
The Board of Health is a policy-making board, first and foremost. The responsibility is that you want to make sure that your office and your policies and regulations are being properly implemented and things are running smooth in the office, and that's really where it starts. As far as being a chairman on any board, the only real difference is that you set the agenda, which dictates probably what's going to be discussed at that particular meeting, and you call the meeting to order. But as far as that, that's really the differential in the service, is that you set the meeting up and get it going and hopefully keep it orderly, and that's really your job as a chairman.
Well, and also, you alluded to it, I mean, you hit the ground running. I mean, you're at the meetings, but almost on a daily basis, you're at town hall
Yes.
and checking to see how things are going.
Well, yeah, it's been convenient for me because my business is in the community, and it's real convenient for me to stop by and go in and say hello, and if there's anything up, we discuss it, and staying on top of different things. So yes, that's been an advantage for me.
Okay. Well, and an asset for all of us as residents, that we have
I hope
someone
so.
who is involved and dedicated to the position as you are. How may residents reach you if they have information they want to relay to you, questions?
Well, I try to keep it simple. My name's Joe Casna, and my email address is joecasner@gmail.com. It's keeps it easy for me, that way I can remember it, let alone anybody else.
Right. And also, people could get in touch with you through Arthur
Oh,
as
sure.
well. So
Most people realize that my business is right up the street. I have people stop by all the time. In my career, I've served in other capacities and committees and boards, and people stop by at my place of business, and I'm a pretty accessible person.
Great. Well, I, as a newbie, have definitely profited from your experience and yours as well, Arthur, and I certainly appreciate it. Again, as I mentioned in the introduction, in an effort to be transparent as a Board of Health and as a health department, we wanted to take this opportunity to let you know what the Board of Health is all about, the services that we have to offer, how to access those services, how to access the people that are involved with the health department and the Board of Health. And we hope to that end that we've been successful. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here.
Thanks,
Thank
Ivers.
you.